Good morning, gardeners of the prairies. If you are in Alberta or Saskatchewan or BC or Washington or Montana, anywhere in the Pacific Northwest, you know that we've had a lot of rain in the last couple days. And I just want to remind you that although it's raining a lot outside, it is not raining in your greenhouse. See, it gets wet there. Whoop. Dry there. There's no rain inside your greenhouse. So this means that if your plants need water, it's up to you to provide it. Mother Nature's not doing that for you. So basically all I do is just a little finger test of the soil. I watered these guys a couple days ago. Usually if it's sunny out and warm out, that water would have been used up by the plant in its transpiration. But because it's been quite cool, it's been quite overcast, the growth rate of the plant slows down pretty significantly. And so that water remains in the pots. So my recommendation to you is before you go off and do your day job, as I'm about to do, go into your greenhouse, check your plants, make sure that the pots are still wet, the soil is still wet, still damp, and that they don't need any additional water from you. Take a look at your soil if you're growing in ground. Make sure that there's adequate moisture for your plants there, remembering that inside this structure they're dependent on you for their needs. The other thing I want to show you is this. So this handy little thermometer also has a hygrometer in it, which tells me what the relative humidity is inside the greenhouse. I'll show you again. So 70% relative humidity, and it's low teens right now temperature wise. Later on in the day it'll warm up and it'll be kind of like high teens probably. That temperature, that high teens centigrade and 70% relative humidity is the perfect condition for botrytis gray mold pathogen to start growing in your greenhouse. So in order to prevent that, you want to make sure that your plants have lots of airflow. That's why I leave my greenhouse door open and the vent at the back of the greenhouse stays open. If you have another door at the back end, you could keep the top half of that open as well. Also, your plants need to cool off at night. They don't want to stay in a heightened heat temperature for growing 24/7. So you want that, I keep the door open so that the temperature drops down a bit at night, giving those plants a chance to cool off. So this time of year, most of our plants aren't at full height yet, so they don't require pruning or thinning. But you want to keep an eye on this because you can see the amount of moisture in here is actually leading to humidity building you can see it on the tips of this tomato plant. That's not ideal. You don't want that moisture on the plants. The goal with tomatoes is to keep the leaves as dry as possible and keep a continuous level of moisture but not wet in the soil. So make sure that you keep everything well ventilated. Keep the air flowing, double check the soil, and just give it a couple days. As soon as it warms up, things are going to skyrocket. Happy gardening.